Namaste. Welcome to Global Perspectives, produced by Today's Youth Asia. Global Perspectives television show brings to you documentaries, films, and people from around the world that provide insights and understandings on global affairs. I'm Samiksha, and in today's episode, we're featuring Mr. Dilip Mukerjea, a learning chef, brain dancer, and the managing director of Brain Dancing International and Busan Center, Singapore Private Limited. Initially trained as a marine engineer, Mr. Mukerjea is also a very accomplished writer, with Super Brain, Brain Infinity, and Brain Dancing as his best sellers. He focuses on society at diverse levels, imparting knowledge to educational institutions and business corporations. Firstly, could you define the term brain dancing to us?
The term brain dancing? Define. You asked me to define. I tend not to define, because when you define, it confines. I rather be free and liberated, and that's what brain dancing is. The freedom, the liberation, the sensation of creativity. If you watch a brain inside, and you watch the brain cells, which are called neurons, and when they move, when you think, when you ideate, when you crack a joke, when you study, your brain cells are dancing. They're moving, and they're illuminated, and they're remarkable. And no non-human technology can match that. I'm in love with how the brain loves dancing. And I delve into that secret in order to help you excel. So it's the sensation of creativity.
Though you're a marine engineer, what made you take up brain dancing as your present career?
Without knowing the term at the time, I was brain dancing. I love marine engineering. It was incredibly challenging and versatile. It has a panoramic array of experiences on offer, and I sampled one hell of a lot. But at a certain point, I asked my bosses whether they agreed if I was a genius, and they said yes. And then I said, am I stupid too? And they said, what happened? Well, my curiosity was that the same brain that can be incredibly smart can also be absolutely stupid. So I wanted to find out about this mass of protoplasm in my head, what it can do, and how it can be better, and how it can move on to helping others do the same. So I, out of curiosity, was impelled into finding out about the brain. Nobody could tell me how to use my brain. People just expected that I must use my brain, but not how. There isn't a textbook on that. None of you students have textbooks showing you how to learn, how to study, how to excel. It's just an expectation. So I'm in the field of how.
What difficulties did you face during your career?
Just the act of being born was difficult, I think. Every woman has tough 9 months. I think my mother must have suffered incredibly, so that must have been challenging. Then my difficulties were how to grapple with learning, which I didn't know about, how to take the challenges of syllabuses, how to go through school and excel, how to post-school be brilliant in a world that is voraciously competitive. And they are always challenging. Every day I wake up with the world's highest IQ. My IQ is ignorance quotient. So every day I wake up with I don't know, what can I know? And it's a good difficulty, it's a good challenge. So I welcome that sort, because without that difficulty, without the struggle, you can't get smarter.
We see that books are most of the time pet theories or fancy of the authors. Although in some cases, they're also distilled experience of the author. What do you have to say on that, and how can we utilize the books to be creative?
You're right. In general, books are written to persuade, inform, or to entertain. I don't have a private agenda other than a publicly declared one to move the planet, as I said, from guns and bullets to brains and wits. We have to go forward in order to get away from the entropy that is dominating us. My books are distilled as well as works in progress, experiences that are live, alive, enlivening, and always evolving. I'm utterly convinced and totally confident that the techniques in my books and the strategies and approaches can help you, your country, anybody on the planet go from good to brilliant. breakdown to breakthrough.
Your books, Super Brain, Brainfinity, and Brain Dancing, have been acclaimed bestsellers. So could you tell us something about that?
A best-selling book has a certain amount of value, but you can have a lousy book that's a bestseller, and a terrific book that's not a bestseller. My interest is not particularly that the book sells well, it's that the contents are learnt well, and that they are propagated, whether through books or through live learnings or through discussions. These techniques are incredibly powerful but easy to learn, and they're not being taught in your learning systems. See, when your grandfather and your grandmother were working, the pace of life took them up like this. Today the pace of life demands we go like this. There's a big gap. My books aim to fill that gap and go beyond it. So they are eternal. They are not some love story or fiction or anything like that. That's a different type of book, and I will write those at another time. Right now I'm interested in writing books that show you how to go from smart to brilliant. The issue is not how smart you are. You're all smart. The issue is how are you smart. So I'm showing you how to be smart when you need to be smart eternally. Take whatever you have, process it at the speed of light, and move ahead. If we don't get ahead, we're going to stay dead. We must move ahead with winning outcomes.
How do you think positive and creative thinking can contribute to an individual's success?
Alright, do you believe positive thinking is a good thing?
Yes.
You should always challenge these dogmas. Positive thinking can be good and it can be bad. I know a little boy called Charlie who was a bit hesitant, and he told his mother, "Hey Mom, I don't think I can pass my maths exams tomorrow." And she says, "Charlie, I sent you to positive thinking camp. Come on, think positive." He says, "Okay, I'm sure I can't pass my maths exams tomorrow." So he's positively negative. You understand? Positive thinking is not my aim. My aim is self-efficacy, so that no matter what, positive, negative, hope, hopelessness, struggle, challenge, anything that comes in front of you, you have the competence and the confidence to face it, run through walls, and march on. Right? So positive thinking has value. Negative thinking can have value because it can show you the other side. Now your other part was creative thinking. That is my passion. Right? If you're very comfortable, there's no need to be creative. So people who are incredibly comfortable all the time, everything is provided for them, they don't need to be creative, even though they have the innate capability to be creative. They are not exhibiting creativity. There's a certain amount of discomfort, perturbation required in order to be creative. So when you have a shortage, a lack, a pain, you need to address it, you need to cure it, you need to be creative. The choice today is creativity or catastrophe, innovation or evaporation. We have to be careful. Every school system needs creativity. No school system has creativity as a subject. No school system encourages creativity in the classroom. They just give lip service to syllabuses, mugging, sweating, slogging. That is the death knell of childhood, and the future is going to be severely truncated, compromised, and sabotaged. Creativity is vital.
Could you give us some points on being a good speaker?
This is one of the greatest fears in the world, more than snakes and heights and deep waters and things like that. How to speak in front of an audience. The first thing that I would subscribe to is never try to impress. Express. Do what you people are doing. When you stumble, you make a mistake, oops, sorry, and you move on. Don't get trapped in some straitjacket, something artificial, and that you have to perform like somebody else. You can never perform like somebody else. You can only perform like you. And only you can get better at being you. Stay you. First, second, and last rule is stay you. Never seek to impress, express. Build your vocabulary. Build your general knowledge. Work on your sense of humor. Stay human and humane. When you don't know, say I don't know. Tell the truth. Get to know more, but do not be filled with knowledge, or you will suffer knowledge rot. Be in a state of knowing, ing, present continuous, so you're continually knowing. Be a certified learning fanatic, so that you're having fun with all your learning. If you're not having fun, you're burning, you're not learning. To be a speaker means that you must honor your audience. You must never fear your audience. If you show your fears, you are denying them the pleasure, the right of listening to you. They must be engaged, not encaged. Too many speakers have encaged their audiences. Too many classrooms are encaged by teachers. Teaching is the noblest of professions. I honor teachers, but some teachers and some teachings, too many in fact, rob you of being engaged, rob the speaker of speaking. It is just a private mission of making some sounds, and it's not reaching ears and brains and hearts and souls.
You seem to have put a lot of emphasis on developing self-efficacy skills as a prelude to academic achievement. Can you give us some practical illustrations as to how students can empower themselves with such skills?
I achieved a lot academically, but out of fear. Because I was terrified of failing and terrified of the syllabus. And then you coupled what you said with self-efficacy, which is where I'm leading people towards. The first thing towards self-efficacy, I would say, is never be afraid of being afraid. Face your fears. Massage your fears. Don't be embarrassed about saying I'm scared, or I don't know, or if you stumbled and fallen. If you're going to fall, fall on your back. If you can look up, you can get up. But never be afraid to fall. Fall in love with life. Fall in love with learning. What's the meaning of life? Nothing. Life has no meaning. You give it meaning. To be self-efficacy means to give meaning to life, to live life fully, to run through walls with the passion that is burning in your soul, to not just mug your way, copy and paste and cut and paste all the trash and the cliches that are circulating and proliferating all over. Be you. The real miracle is you. The world is run by young souls, by young spirits like you. The future belongs to you. Be you. I want more of you. That's the salvation of our planet. My generation has stolen your future. The soil, the air, the water, space has been contaminated and polluted. We need to clean up. Express your spirits. Go forth. I will applaud all the way.